Slowly,
Slimy.
simply, softly.
Slippery. Slippery, slimy.
Squidgy.
Slowly.
Sticky, softly.
Slippery, simp. Slimy. Shiny, softly. Shiny. Squirty. Squirty.
Sticky,
Squirty.
sticky.
Squidgy.
Sticky.
Squirty. Simply. Sticky.
Slug.
Slug.
Words. Words are very powerful. With a word, we can say absolutely anything. With a word, we can tell someone we love them. And with another word, we can show that we don't like them. They say that a picture paints 1,000 words. But I say, if we use words carefully and cleverly, a single word can paint 1,000 pictures. In this opening sequence, I wanted to show you how important words are, how we can paint a picture with them, how we can stop and think, and then use words to express ourselves. And like the different ways that all our garden bugs and creatures move around, some scurrying about very fast, others hanging around very still, others moving very slowly, we can use our choice of words to paint a picture, to express an idea. In this case, just now, I used some words that I thought would describe a slug and said them in several different ways to make a word painting. And although you haven't seen a single picture yet in this video, I think you get the idea of what a slug is like. I hope. In today's episode, we're looking at the common or garden slug in a couple of ways. Here, we are looking at how to use words to describe the slow, quiet movement and feel of a slug. In the next clip, Mr. Macaulay will be reading one of my funny poems, which tells about a gardener who is fed up with the slugs in his garden and just wishes he will wake up one day and find them all gone. Hope you enjoy it.
Hello and welcome to my garden. I love being in my garden, but I'm not alone. So do slugs. I can see them in the undergrowth, poised, ready to attack my flowers. Martyn Harvey sat in his garden, observing a slug, and he took inspiration from watching that slug to write a poem. Let me share with you the poem Martyn Harvey created with the inspiration of watching a slug in his garden. It's called A Gardener's Prayer. Of all thy creatures great and small, the bird, the beast, the bug, the only one I truly hate, thy slippery little slug. His greedy underbelly and his slimy leather back, he seems to turn up everywhere, in every bleeding crack. The worm improves the soil, they say, his lowly place he earns. But slug he eateth all, and giveth nothing in return. He waiteth till I go to bed, and turneth off my light, then rummaging around my greenhouse, Lord, every blooming night. And when I wake, refreshed and calm, the long night's demons beaten, what anger riseth in my soul, to find my seedlings eaten. He eateth every luscious leaf, thy turnip and tomato, thy carrot and thy cabbage, thy parsnip and potato. O Lord, you give my garden bloom, and shrubs both great and small, and then you go and give us too, the slug, to eat them all. And though I'm sure this beast is part of thy great ecosystem, I've never met a gardener, Lord, who'd ever bloomin' miss 'em. Dear Lord, I pray to wake one day, I hope it's not too long, to find to my eternal joy that all thy slugs have gone. An excellent poem from Martyn Harvey there. So Martyn wrote that beautiful poem with some fantastic language describing the life of a slug in his garden. When we write a poem, we might also want to illustrate that poem. So I'm going to show you a quick way of drawing a slug. Now I'm going to show you how to draw a slug, but you might want to adapt that and turn it into your own slug. So if I'm going to start drawing a slug, I'm going to start with their two big eyes that are perched on the top of their head. Okay, so there's two circles next to each other, and then I'm going to fill those in to make two eyes with pupils in the middle. Okay, they are up on the dot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw like a U shape to join those two eyes together. Looks like a big smile, I suppose. And down one side, I'm going to bring that out and bring that halfway down, and the other side halfway. So you're going to see this side is longer than this side, because this side's going to make the back of my slug. Okay. The bottom of my slug, I'm going to make it not a straight line, because I find the bottom slug is a little bit wavy. So I'm going to wave a line along like this, make towards its tail. Can we see that? And then from the back here, I'm going to take that round and join it in. Okay. Now, this started to look like a slug, but we need to give it some sort of expression. I imagine a slug to feel rather sly, eating my flowers. But I'm going to give mine a bit of a cheeky grin, because he's already eaten them. So I'm going to do like a little J shape. Nice little cheeky smile. Now we also know that slugs are very famous for their slime. So I'm going to draw a slime puddle around my slug. Some extra bits of slime that have gone next to him. Okay. So here's my slug. Now you might want to add in your slug munching on some of the flowers in your garden, or stealing some vegetables. It's entirely up to you. But I hope I have read to you not only an exceptional poem by Martyn Harvey, but also shown you how to illustrate that poem by drawing a slug. I'm sure you'll look forward to hearing another poem tomorrow morning.
Well, thank you again, Mr. Macaulay, for giving us that reading and for showing us how to draw a slug. As you can see, there are lots of ways we can use words and pictures to create an image of a slug, whether that image is in words alone, as at the beginning of this episode, or using pictures. And using words and pictures, we can paint or describe a slug or any other creature in a million different ways, which is what is wonderful about this world. There are now 7.5 billion people on our little planet, all floating around in space, on the little rock that we call the planet Earth, the third rock from the sun. And every single one of those people is different. Mr. Macaulay has a very good way of drawing slugs, and in a little bit I'll be showing you my way of drawing slugs. But what we really want to see, and that's what this challenge is all about, is all the wonderful creative ways you can describe a slug, or any of the other creatures, using your words and your pictures. Your poems and pictures may all be different. You might feel, oh no, I can't write very good, or I can't draw. And I hear lots of people saying things like that. But I always say, everyone is good at something. And even if you don't think that what you write and draw is good, in fact, every single drawing, every single poem is good in some way. And it is very special because, as I said before, only you can express how you see something. And that's what we want to see. Your creative poems and paintings, to see your creativity. I think it's going to be wonderful. Anyway, in this next clip, I'll be taking Mr. Macaulay's way of drawing a slug and adding a little paint. I hope it inspires you. Bye. But in this picture we've got two main things going on. We've got the human figure here, and also we've got our little slimy friends here. Now this one's a giant. Over here I've used Mr. Macaulay's lovely drawings of a slug as inspiration, and I've incorporated them into my picture because I thought they were so cool. It's a lovely, easy way to learn to draw slugs, so I've used that method myself, and I really like these little guys. I hope you do. And then over here, I've taken it a couple of steps further. This is a giant, possibly alien slug, who knows. Look at that, chomping away at the poor old gardener. Poor gardener's lettuces and things. So he's come into the potting shed. They're on a shelf in the potting shed, apparently. That's in the background. You have to use your imagination. But basically, here we are, lettuce leaves all over the place. And he's throwing them over to these little toddler slugs who are going to chomp them up, no doubt. The gardener comes in, goes, "Oh my goodness, what's going on here?" "Ah, chomp, 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 chomp. Hey, buddy, these are lovely lettuces. What are you doing with my lettuce?" "Oh, I'm just having my dinner." Hey, Dad, can we have some?" You see, pictures tell a story. Anyway, this is my illustration for the poem The Gardener's Prayer, in which the gardener comes in and finds slugs all over the place eating all his vegetables that he's taken so long to grow. And he says, "Oh, I wish they were all gone." And that's what that poem's about, that Mr. Macaulay read so nicely. Now, I haven't decided yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little picture here, which you saw yesterday when I was doing the millipede, and I've used this spare piece of paper here to mock up some of Mr. Macaulay's slugs, exactly how he does them. And I'm going to experiment here with the different colours, just to check that it all works okay, and then I can decide what colours to make these guys. So we might have like orangey red with spots, bluey green and purple, and a more natural one, who knows. So I'm just going to dabble about on here, and then once I've done this, then I can use those colours in here. Okay, so let's make a little start on these little creatures here, shall we? There we go, a tiny touch of indigo, just to give it a bit of darkness and depth. And I'm just going to blend that in while the paint's still wet. Okay, maybe it's gone a little bit too dry. Never mind, that's okay. I can fix that, I think. Just going to use that like a shadow. And with a little wet brush, I'm just going to add back some water just so it blends in. And that's not bad actually, that's the sort of effect I was after. There we go. It's quite a natural looking sort of slug. I might give a very pale wash of... There we go. But you see how I've left some light? Let's just go for making him, or her, doesn't matter which. If I could pinky purple base. Top of that, I think I've got this thing called fuchsia, which is in my paint set, which is quite a deep purpley sort of colour. If I then add that in while the paint's still wet so it can blend in a bit. Well, actually it's dried already, but never mind. Should be able to fix that. Quite like that. I'm just going to put some in the water, or sorry, in the slime. Deep fuchsia colour here. Just, there we go. Sink it into the... As always with my eyes, I do a little bit of this sort of bluey grey. Let's just give a little bit of a shine or depth to the eyes. That's it, that's all it takes. There we go. There's my 3 little slugs. As I said, as one of the prizes, I'm going to be giving away this little millipede picture, which I shall cut about here. But I shall also be giving away this. So this is another prize. I hope you like it. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this little episode. And I hope you're looking forward to tomorrow's episode, The Weevil. And just by the way, this little picture, which was featured in today's episode, I'll be giving away that as one of the prizes too. So come on, good luck everyone, have fun, and let's see some wonderful poems and drawings. Bye! I wonder what it's like to be a slug. I guess there's plenty of food around. Look at all this grass and leaves. I suppose you have to do everything very, very slowly. Then there's that slimy business. I wonder what it's like, being wet all the time. Oh! Oh! That's fine.